Today, I'll be showing you the before and after of the main bedroom in the house I bought in Spain for $9,000. Plus, I'll be walking you through the process of all the renovation work in this room. I'll go over the prices and the details of all the furnishings I purchased, where I got each item from, and the cost of those too. Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel, Travel to Money, where I share about how to travel, adventure, and have fun on the road to financial independence, especially if that road is leading you to Spain. So when I purchased this house, this bedroom is one of the rooms where the roof had caved in. This is certainly one of the more dramatic transformations in this house. The very first project on this house was replacing the roof. You can see the entire roofing video if you want to check that out later. But we went with a sandwich board roof that looks like Spanish tile on top, is really thick with insulation, and then on the bottom side, it doubles as your ceiling on the galvanized steel framework. Now, I could have chosen to line the lower side of the beams with plasterboard or sheetrock as we call it in the US, but I really like the look of the exposed beams. It's not for everyone, but it is definitely a look I like a lot. The one area of the roof where I contributed with my own labor was getting up on the scaffolding and peeling the plastic off of the interior part after installation. I'd take a utility knife for a clean cut and then peel the plastic off one section at a time. With the windows, we took out the old Spanish windows, which were beautiful, but we needed to replace some of the rotted wood that was above the window frames and opted to cut bigger window spaces. There was something lost in the translation of what was wanted for the windows. I initially wanted ones that just opened from one side and then had a shutter in them. Now that we're at the finish line of the bedroom, I'm actually really glad that they came like this, opening on both sides from the middle. It's a more expensive design and it didn't have shutters, but it all worked out okay with the curtain decisions I've made, which I'll get into in just a bit. The two windows came to a total of €1,578. These had to be custom made to fit, which is why they were about double what you would pay for a standard size. I purchased them from a local shop. I did get a quote from Leroy Merlin as well, but the price was almost exactly the same, so I always prefer to buy local if the price is similar. The next two big line items are the walls and the floors. In the upstairs two bedrooms, I was paying €25 an hour for the guy who does the plastering plus materials. It was definitely on the high end of labor costs I've incurred in Spain, but he was also very good at what he did. I opted only to use him in the two upstairs rooms because after seeing how quickly the costs added up, I definitely needed to find more affordable options for the remainder of the house. Looking back on receipts, I spent in the area of about €400 to €500 on the materials, which included plaster, mesh, and edging. For the paint, I chose a color that wasn't really all that different from the plaster color. It's kind of a light taupe or sand-like color, very neutral and calming. For the flooring, I went with one specific Spanish tile throughout the entire house, with the exception of the bathroom. This was the first room we tiled directly over the tiles beneath by first painting a grip onto the old tiles. Then we poured some self-leveler as one side of the room was much higher than the other. It's not perfectly level because one corner sits much higher in the room, but we had to consider the weight that it would add, so we did enough to minimize the problem without adding a ridiculous amount of weight. The tiles for the entire house cost me €1,259, so for this room, we're maybe looking at about €200 max for the tiles plus labor. I also did the grouting myself with a friend who pitched in, so that was another way I could be involved and save on labor. From there, we have two other items before we get to the reveal and the decor. The first is the air conditioner. In Spain, central AC isn't really a thing. You use these mini split units in any room or area, so for this house, I decided that I needed one for each of the upstairs bedrooms and a more powerful one for the downstairs area. I received a quote from my AC guy that I thought was a little pricey for the units themselves, but he was fine with me shopping around and buying the units myself. His install fees were still going to be the same, so I found a good deal with Leroy Merlin at some point, and the AC unit for this bedroom was €279, including tax. The installation for all three AC units was a bit complicated and included needing to hire an electrician, so it was almost €2,000. Part of the reason it was complex was because I wanted the units in very specific spots in the bedrooms, and I also wanted the exterior parts of the units to be on the back of the house and not the front. Most people would have just installed the units somewhere above the windows and would have had the exterior portion on the outside of the front of the house. It certainly would have been easier to do and would have cost a lot less, but I'm so happy with the way we've gone about it, and it's worth the extra money to me. The last piece of the renovation part of this room was buying the skirting boards for the border of the room and around the doors. This is something else that got a little lost in translation. I wanted them to have molding, but when I returned after my last trip, realized that the ones that were delivered and installed were just a square shape. I'm okay with them. It definitely finishes out the room. The skirting boards for the whole upstairs were about €200, which would mean this room was about €100. If I had actually purchased the ones with molding, it would have cost me about 3 times as much. I decided to keep the old wooden door, which I find to be quite lovely. Okay, are you guys ready for the bedroom reveal? I'm going to show you the room in its finished state, and then I'll walk you through each piece in the room, the cost, and where I purchased it. This part feels super emotional for me. When I saw the before and after pictures side by side for the first time, my eyes welled up with tears. Let me also preface this by saying that I fully understand that design is very subjective, and also, I'm not an interior designer. I just want to give that disclaimer before people come for me in the comments. I just like what I like. Okay, here is the finished bedroom. One of my goals throughout this house in my design choices is to have touches of Spanish design along with some modern and clean looking pieces with color choices that I believe speak to the landscape around me in this region of Spain, especially in this bedroom. All of the decor elements were purchased from one of 4 places, so I'll categorize those alphabetically as I walk through the pricing. The first was Amazon, but before I get into the list, I'd like to say that when it comes to furniture, I always start by checking Facebook Marketplace, then local shops, then some of the bigger retailers, and then I'll look on Amazon. I prefer to buy locally whenever I can. But another cool thing about Amazon is that they have over 9,000 small and medium Spanish businesses that sell on their site as well, and you can see that designation when you're making a purchase. Plus, in their first 10 years in Spain, they've added over 12,000 jobs to the Spanish workforce, which I think is pretty cool. I made a whole video about shopping on Amazon in Spain, so you can check that out for more information. By the way, I'll list affiliate links in the description of this video for all of the Amazon purchases I made in case you'd like to get some of them for yourself. Before there was any other furniture in the room, I purchased the mattress on Amazon for a total of €226.99, including tax. This is a king size, which is different from king size beds in other countries. Each country has their own bed sizes apparently. This is a 180 by 200 centimeter bed. The thickness of the mattress is 27 centimeters, close to 11 inches, which is the thickest they had available. I also purchased a zip cover that goes over the entire mattress. I use these on every mattress I own anywhere in the world. It fully protects the mattresses from stains, bed bugs, and more. This I got for $23.99. One thing I want to note real quick about the king size mattress is that it's definitely not as common in Spain, so you don't always have as many options for items like sheets and comforters. But it's still worth it if you ask me. I purchased a dark gray sheet set for the bed at $20.99. The white microfiber quilted duvet was $44.99, and the set of 2 bed pillows was $24.99. The 12-inch platform bed I also purchased on Amazon for €313.86. The double curtain rod was $34.63 each, and I bought 2. The semi-sheer sand color curtains were $36.95 for a set of 2, and I bought 2 packs. The green blackout curtains were $42.95 for each 2-pack. The last item from Amazon was the floor rug, which I purchased for $179.99. Next would be the one item I purchased from Facebook Marketplace, which is the couch in the room that I got from a lovely luxury home outside of Pego for 250 euro. I went back and forth about whether I was going to put chairs with a chest in the middle or the couch, but I'm super happy with the way this turned out. The next place I got a few items from was a store called Jysk. It looks like Jisk, but apparently is pronounced Jysk. This store is based in Denmark and has 128 shops that can be found throughout Spain. From there, I purchased the nightstands for 60 euro each, the lamp in the corner for 50 euro, the decorative pillows on the bed, and the additional blanket on the bed came from there as well, but I don't have those prices on me at the moment. Next are the items I purchased from the local weekly markets, or rastros as they're often referred to in Spain. These are kind of similar to flea markets or farmers markets in the US. I purchased the chest at the end of the bed for 15 euro, the large vase in the corner for 10 euro, one of the nightstand vases for 10 euro, and my favorite, the painting on the large wall, which was painted by a local artist of a nearby seaside, which I picked up for 80 euro. The mirror over the couch was left with the house and I love it, so I was really happy to see it go up in this room. Okay, so that covers all of the decor. From what I'm estimating, I spent about 5,500 euro on the bedroom renovation, including labor, not including the decor. The decor ran me about a total of 1,700 euro. That comes to a total of 7,200 euro. I honestly had no idea what my total was until writing this script. So that makes the bedroom more expensive than the bathroom or kitchen, but I included some of the AC cost in that and the two windows, so that definitely makes the total a bit higher. You know, I've thought a lot about renting out this house when I'm not here, and I've got to say, after doing this renovation and putting so much of myself and my time into it and getting this bedroom exactly how I want it, I'm having the hardest time imagining that I could ever trust other people with it. And that's okay, I don't need to rent it. Not everything has to be a money-making opportunity. Maybe one day after I've worn it in, I'll consider letting others use it. I just don't see that happening in the near future. I've rented lots of my spaces before, so I think this new feeling must come from the amount of work and time that has gone into it because I feel super emotional about it. Speaking of wanting to protect this space, I've done a few things to protect the house and I'll be talking about that in an upcoming video soon. If you haven't seen the kitchen or the bedroom reveals, check those out here. Do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to join me every day where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.